What is going on, guys? The Inside the Boot podcast, and today we're talking about the New York Giants and our schedule prediction on the channel. It's our second official record prediction. 2023, we've been covering the team since 2023. We did not officially have a record prediction in 2023. If someone can find, if I did say something about a record prediction, leave it down below. But in 2024, we had them at 7-10, and they ended up finishing 3-14. So not good. Not good on our part. The Giants were much worse than we once thought. But this team, I like it a lot. I like it a lot because, one, we don't have Daniel Jones throwing the ball anymore. We don't have Drew Lock throwing the ball anymore. We don't have Tommy DeVito starting anymore. We have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston as the backup. That already is a better quarterback room than they've had in any Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll era for the New York Giants. Now, I'm not saying Russell Wilson is in his prime or anything like that. He has fallen down, and from his Seahawks days, didn't have a great tenure for the Denver Broncos, and the Steelers wasn't really much. I mean, they did make the playoffs, but they did get stomped by the Baltimore Ravens. But, this team, the thing I like about it is that they had a good draft class. I think I like a lot of the players they selected. With Jackson Dart trade up, I thought that was cool. I thought the Abdul Carter pick at pick 3 was amazing. Cam Scatterboo, a really solid running back. I knew they were considering a running back. I think in some of the mock drafts we actually had them selecting a running back, but we just didn't know which one it was going to be. They ended up taking Cam Scatterboo, and I think he is very solid. He's more of that power back. He's going to run through you for first downs, while Tyron Tracy's more of your shifty, elusive back. So I like that, and having a 1-2 punch is really good for this offense. But this schedule is difficult, right? I mean, in terms of strength of schedule, it's the toughest in the NFL. And obviously that's not ideal because some jobs are on the line, right? Joe Schoen, Brian Daboll, trying to prove to John Mara that this team still has a fight and they still have a compete level. But I do think with the new identity, I think they can scrape some wins. So we're going to get right into this record prediction. And starting it off, I really like our Week 1 matchup. I do. And I like that it's divisional. Now, honestly, I thought we were going to play the Cowboys in Week 1, but we play them in Week 2. And we're starting off with the Washington Commanders, who made it all the way to the NFC Championship. Unfortunately, they ran into the Philadelphia Eagles, but they took down a good Lions team. And, they have a solid team, I will say. With Jaden Daniels at quarterback, he's really fun to watch, and I have a lot of respect for Jaden Daniels. I do honestly think, he's right there with Jalen Hurts for the best quarterback in the NFC East. And, of course, we're going to be seeing Jaden Daniels, of course, twice a year, and we see him right here on 1 o'clock, Fox. And I have the Giants losing their Week 1 matchup on the road at Washington. And I just think it's going to come down to like that similar situation. That's that one play that kind of hurts the Giants. And last year was the Malik Neighbors drop from a very catchable ball. He knew it. He knew he messed up. But I have the Giants losing Week 1. I also have the Giants losing in Dallas. The Giants just never win in Dallas. And it's unfortunate that the Giants lose in Dallas all the time because we'd like to win in Dallas. But starting off 0-2 and getting into this next matchup, they're versus the Chiefs, man. And if there is one thing that I do want is them to beat them. But I don't think they're going to beat them. So the Giants start 0-3, but I do want to see an Abdul Carter sack on Mahomes. That would be fun. But, unfortunately, starting off 0-3 to start your season is not ideal. And I know the big question, too, for the Giants is, are we going to see Jackson Dart this season, or are they just going to pivot to Jameis Winston? I don't want Jackson Dart to start this year. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability, the mental toughness, or anything to start an NFL game. I just want him to sit, learn from Brian Daboll, learn from Russ, learn from Jameis, But they're taking on the Chargers, and I think the Chargers are a lot better than them. And now I think Harbaugh is going to have a really solid Chargers team this upcoming season. I think you can make a case that they can make a run for the Chiefs' money for that division title. But the Giants start 0-4. Not the best, right? You don't want them starting, on a low note, because you want the season to still have some sort of life. But starting off 0-4 for the New York Giants is rough. But the Giants get their first win. And the Giants get a win against the Saints on the road. I know a tough place to play, but this Saints team is not that good. They don't have much. And I think the Giants are going to see those first 4 games, a lot of tough opponents, and they're going to start kicking some butt. And they're going to start with the Saints with the win. I do have them losing to the Eagles at home. Just don't get blown out, please. So not the greatest start for the season, as they've dropped 5 of their first 6 games. They're 1-5, I believe, 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4. Then they win, so they're 1-4, and then they're 1-5. But I do have them beating the Broncos, so now they're 2-5 through their first 7 weeks, which is good. I have them losing to the Eagles. I have them losing to the 49ers. I just think the 49ers are going to come back a lot healthier, a lot better. I think it's going to be a very close game, though. I don't think the Giants are going to get blown out much. I think their defense is going to keep them in this game, in these games a lot this year. I have them beating the Bears on the road. I think the Bears are good. But I tell you, man, this defensive pass rush is going to win them some football games. I say that. I have them losing to the Packers at home. I have them losing to the Lions on the road. But I have them beating the Patriots at Foxborough. I have them beating the Washington Commanders at home, so I have them splitting with the Commanders. I have them beating the Vikings. I think they could beat the Vikings. I say that because J.J. McCarthy is their quarterback, and I don't know what I'm getting with them. I have them beating the Raiders, and I have them losing to the Dallas Cowboys to end their season. So, of course, let's run it back one more time. So they go 0-1 to the Commanders, 0-2 to the Cowboys, 0-3 to the Chiefs, 0-4 to the Chargers. They are now 1-4 with the win against the Saints. 1-5, they lose to the Eagles. They're 2-5 as they beat the Broncos. 2-6 as they lose to the Eagles. 2-7 with a loss to the 49ers. A win against the Bears, so they're 3-7. A loss to the Packers, 3-8. A loss to the Lions, 3-9. A win against the Patriots, so they're 4-9. A win against the Commanders, they're 5-9. A win against the Vikings, they're 6-9. A win against the Raiders, they're 7-9. But a loss to the Dallas Cowboys. And I have them at 7-10 this year with a win streak at the end of the season. I think that's fair. I think 7-10 is fair for this football team. I mean, say what you want. Maybe you find a win against like the 49ers or the Chargers earlier in the year. But I think 7-10 is fair. Now, a 4-game win streak for the Giants would be something that we have not seen in a while. But I think 7-10 keeps the job of Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. I think that obviously getting swept by the Cowboys, getting swept by the Eagles, but splitting to the Commanders is not ideal. That's 1-5. That's 1-5 against your division again, and that's the big thing for Brian Daboll this season is that they need to figure it out how to beat these divisional teams, especially Dallas. Philadelphia is in their own level of offense, defense, and talent. But I think Dallas is a team that you can beat. I do. I just think with the history and the recent play, the Giants just don't know how to beat Dallas. And I think they do just run into walls and they just they mess up. And that's what bad teams do. Is they mess up too many times and time runs out and they can't figure it out. But 7-10 I think is fair. Right? I think the only other teams that maybe you could sneak a win is the Cowboys and maybe an upset win against the 49ers. Now, granted, they did beat the Packers when Tommy DeVito was a quarterback. That was fun. But I don't think they're going to beat the Packers. They have some weapons. They have a good defense. They have a good quarterback. I guess the big question to round it off is, when do I think Jackson Dart has a chance to start? I'd probably say the game against the Commanders, which would be one of their final games. They would have the Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, Cowboys. Those would be Jackson Dart's 4 games. If they do end up starting him this year, or if Russ goes down and Jameis starts, and then eventually Jameis starts are bad and they want to move on from Jameis, then Jackson Dart I think will start them. But 7-10 is the record prediction for my my prediction. Let me know your guys' thoughts below on 7-10 for the New York Giants. Mainly it's because they have better quarterback play. They have a good defense. Their offensive line is poor. I guess average. Average is better than what they've had. But yeah, I think the rookies are going to really have fun this year. I hope Jackson Dart starts under Brian Daboll. But yeah, I mean, a late winning streak for the Giants is just not enough to make the playoffs. That's really the storyline of my record prediction. Both years I've had record predictions. I have them at 7-10. Now, if things change, if they don't go 7-10 this year, I don't think I'll ever put them at 7-10 again. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this schedule prediction. Let me know your guys' thoughts below on it. Of course, let me know your thoughts on the Giants and what you think their record is gonna be. But as of now, that is gonna do it. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and let's go Giants, baby. See you guys in the next one. Peace.